We're glad you're here. Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Let's get it started. We are here. And a quick note before we begin.
We're going to have honest conversations about mental health, y'all. Community, racism, identity, healing, and what it means to navigate life as Black and brown folks in places where we haven't always felt seen, welcomed, or supported.
And as you listen, we invite you to go at your own pace, take what serves you, and leave what doesn't. Pause, stretch, grab some water, take a walk. Listen to this while you take your walk. Mm-hmm. And if you got to come back to it later and come back and finish the rest of another day, that's all good. Mm-hmm. Caring for yourself is always welcome here.
Absolutely. And while we'll share stories, insights, and reflections, this podcast is not a substitute for therapy or mental health care. If you need support, we encourage you to reach out to trusted people in your life and check the show notes for mental health resources.
Welcome. Bienvenida. Did I get it right? I knew I was going to get it right.
Bienvenidos, everybody.
That's
welcome,
right. Welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Bienvenidos. Mm-hmm. We are here at Black and Brown Mountain Town. We believe healing happens in therapy offices, around the kitchen tables, in the churches, the front porches, with the horses. They call that equine therapy.
They sure do.
That's right. That's right. It don't always happen in the office. It can also happen in mutual spaces, in conversations with people we trust. Mm-hmm. Today, we talk about one of our favorite topics, though. Good God Almighty, I'm so ready for this one.
I'm so ready for this. Mm-hmm. Maybe it could be the iced coffee, and also. I am so pumped. Yes, mm-hmm. yes.
And remind them what month this is. It's July, y'all. It is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. And with it being that month, it was only right that this episode be what is mental health.
That's right. And also, by the way, welcome back to Black and Brown Mountain Town. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. I'm honestly overwhelmed by the feedback that we've gotten on our first episode. So, yeah, shout out to everyone who has been following, who has been interacting, who has been liking, subscribing, all the things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, my heart is very full.
Yeah.
And so thank you and welcome back.
Welcome back. And shout out to you on the social media, girl. You've been killing the game with the social media.
Thank you.
I'm trying to tell you, with the little beats dropping at the end and everything. Yeah, let's get it. So, you want to jump it off, sister?
Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Philip, mental health, we're talking about it.
That's right.
What comes to your mind when you hear those words?
Well, to be honest, man, like, for me, being in mental health recovery, also being a person who work in the field, you know, for me, when I hear mental health, I think about more than, as it says in the beginning of the show, like more than just being in the office with a therapist or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think of like, how is my mental? Like, how is my mental? But I asked one of the, and shout out to the interns. Oh
my God, our interns.
Shout out to the interns. We got Gilbert, we got Damien, we got Rome, and we was having a conversation with them. And I want to share one of the things that I heard back from them.
Yeah. When
I asked them, because they all minorities, right? Mm-hmm. I say to Damien, I say, what does mental health mean to you? He said, lack of resources. I asked Rome, what does mental health mean to him? Guess what he said? Confusion.
And they're not alone. I'm sure there are people that are tuning in who are also having those sentiments of confusion, of lack of resources, et cetera. Yeah. That's why we're here.
Well, what about you? What comes to mind? Because you are so like knowledgeable and like I don't even know how to describe how you approach the field, because it's different, right? It's different how you approach it. Like, you have the clinical side, but you also are like a very heavy people community person. So when you hear mental health, what comes to mind for you?
You know, I think the first phrase, and you've used this phrase before, right? Like, mental health is health.
That's a fact.
Right? And so when I think of mental health, I think of it holistically. Mental health is also physical health. Mental health is emotional health.
Come on.
Mental health is spiritual health.
Spiritual health.
It is health. It is health. And so for me, what comes up when I think of mental health is like an ever-present thing that we get to tend to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An ever-present thing. It is indeed ever-present, because my mental condition is always there, right? And it's either healthy or it's unhealthy. And how my mental is will inform how I respond to life on life's terms.
Totally.
It is ever-present. So look. So mental health, right?
Yeah.
Mental health versus mental illness.
Yes.
And so I hear people oftentimes, and first, let's talk about the word mental
Can we
illness.
please?
Oh my gosh.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And I think a part of the reason I don't like it is because it's not coming from like a strengths-based approach, it feels like, right? And there's nothing wrong with mental illness, right? And one of the things that I've learned in my practice of curanderismo, and even just in my practice of deepening in like my knowledge in indigenous languages and mother tongues and native languages, from what I've been taught, there's not even a word for illness in indigenous languages, or at least the ones that I'm aware of, right, that I've studied.
Yeah.
And instead, what you find is the word imbalance. Right? So it's not necessarily like this is an illness, but it's just like maybe there's an imbalance that you need to bring together, whether individually or collectively, which is why the community is important. So yeah, I don't like the term mental illness because it automatically kind of paints something in a negative light, and it can be really pathologizing. And put the blame on the individual.
Wow.
Where it's like, let's say someone has a quote-unquote anxiety disorder. I am not discounting the fact that diagnoses are important, right? And they're not everything.
Come on.
Because, like, maybe someone is anxious because they are a single parent with 3 children, working 2 jobs, trying to get to work on time, trying to make sure the house is clean. Yeah, you're going to be anxious.
Yeah, because the life shows up. And
life shows up.
And another example I use, like with single parents, but think about, like, I just got an email from Nathan Ramsey, and Thermo Fisher's closing down in December. You feel me? Like, think about people that's being notified that their job is going to be ending. That's going to bring anxiety.
That's going to bring some
It's not necessarily
feelings.
a disorder per se. And another thing I like what you said too is what you said about the word illness, man. Like, because when I hear illness, I think of sick. You know what I'm saying? And like, are we aligning a person who has a mental health diagnosis with always being sick because you have a diagnosis?
Right.
I have a diagnosis. I'm not my diagnosis.
100%.
I have a diagnosis, but I am not it. That is not all of me. And I'm not sick today.
Right.
They have some days when I'm better than others, depending upon, I don't want to get too preachy, girl, but I'm just trying to say, but as a man who is a minister, right? When I think of someone who is ill, I'm wanting them to be well.
Right.
And so am I saying that a person who has a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder or a diagnosis of depression, that this person is always sick because they have a diagnosis?
Seriously. Yeah. And again, not to discount, like, diagnoses can be really helpful frameworks. Diagnoses can help, like, from the clinical perspective, create a treatment plan, right? So there is, it's a both and, like it always is for me, it feels like, right? It's like, let's take what we need, take what is helpful, and maybe not over-identify with that, because at the end of the day, we're humans.
Y'all stop over-identifying. Am I pointing at the right camera? I'm pointing. Y'all don't over-identify. Humanize yourself, my brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Because that over-identification to the point to where I am my diagnosis. No, I'm not sick. Come on. And that's where the stigma come from too, man. Language. It's all about language. And I appreciate you including the importance. And that's why we have Black and Brown Mountain Town.
That's right.
Clinical and communal. Because that treatment plan is important. And oftentimes that treatment plan consists of some type of referral to some system of liberation called community.
Called community.
That's right. I told you that system of liberation hit different. It hit different. So we still talking about mental health and mental illness. So let's dive more into mental health and what all mental health can consist of.
Totally.
Right? Relationships.
Yes.
Mental health can include joy.
100%. Joy is an act of resistance. We talked about that in episode 1.
Yeah.
Joy, necessary. And that is also a part of mental health. It's not just the bad.
Yeah.
It's also the good.
That's right. Yeah. Let's talk about our mental status. I like you said, mental imbalance.
Yes.
Let's talk about how we get more balanced. Another thing that we look at with mental health is belonging.
That's right.
Let's talk about belonging and how people who are minorities in the Appalachia,
Yes.
how do they feel whenever and based off of some of the work you've done, because we've worked with a lot of people, right? But how are they feeling as it relates to belonging whenever they have a mental health diagnosis or have some type of condition that warrants treatment?
Yeah. I mean, I think isolation is a big thing, right? When you look at even just geographically how things are. And if you don't see a lot of people that look like you, and you're then been told, like, and now you have this diagnosis, that can be internalized in a pretty significant way, right?
That's heavy.
So now you're like, not only do I not feel like I belong, not only do I not look like the other people around me, now there's this other kind of layer that's been put on top of me. So it's,
Wow, that isolation hit different, man. Isolation it gets worse.
Yeah.
You know, whatever I'm dealing with, whatever I may be challenged with, it turns into suffering whenever I'm in isolation.
Totally.
Because in community, that's where I'm finding that the additional support and even going back to what you shared about the clinical side. You know, my time working as a clinician when I was working in the substance use field, you know, we start working on discharge plans and everything. We was always trying to get them connected to some type of community.
Totally. We need one another. We need one another, right? Like, if we look at the manifestations of white supremacy culture, it's really focused on the individual. And the antidote to that is tapping into the community and being a part of the whole. We're not meant to do this alone.
Come on.
We're not meant to be out here alone. We
Period.
need one another. Yeah.
We need one another, and badly, even in these times. You know, it's a lot of division in our country.
My God.
And you start talking about belonging and not having the representation and everything, and then the division that is happening in the country even to this day. You know, like we just celebrated, you know, Happy Birthday America 250, right? And remembering, like, how does that show up for our natives, for the tribal people? You feel me? Like, how does celebration impact the people who was here, who remember massacre, who remember tragedy, you know, and that aligns with that belonging and that black and brown mountain town piece, and being able to have somebody to talk to about how you feel, and being able to even educate your peers, because I have seen people be able to educate, and then they be like, wow, I never looked at it that way. And the next thing you know, this person can become a supporter of you, which contributes to your entire community. And they could even go on to be stigma slayers to their friends, their other white friends. Like, hey man, have you ever thought about this? You know, and I've seen that happen. But relationships. Let's talk about relationships with mental health. Let's talk more about that.
Okay. Let's talk about it. Tell me, what are you thinking about?
Well, Lord Jesus, I was ready to go in, but I don't want to get too preachy. I'm trying my best not to get too preachy.
Philip, I think you get to be who you are, and just that, and also
you're such a therapist.
I am. I'm also a human that is here with my friend.
That's right.
So just be you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, since you asked,
yes,
the first relationship that I would like to touch on would be the relationship with yourself. As we talk about mental health and we talk about belonging, for me, it took community to help me understand how to have a relationship with myself, because I didn't know.
Me leaning back. That's my therapist equivalent of like clutching my pearls, but in a good way.
Yeah. But relationships are everything. And having a relationship with myself means that I have self-awareness. And that self-awareness can lead me to the point of saying, hold on, I'm isolating. I need to call Gilbert. I'm isolating. I need to call Ian. I need to call somebody and check in like, hey, bro, I'm just checking in. How you doing? Like, how's your spirit? And it's like I'm checking their spirit, but really I'm checking in myself in relationships. For when you hear mental health, though, like, what kind of relationships come to mind?
Ooh, okay. So obviously the relationship with yourself is really important. And also, I mean, my mind goes to original relationship with our primary caregivers and how that forms our attachment style and our attachment system and adaptation, which could be another episode in and of itself. Right? And then how we attach and form relationships and bonds with the people around us are impacted by that. I think of like the friendships that I have and how healing it is to have really solid people in your life. So even if there are attachment wounds from primary caregivers, it's healable, right? Like we are neuroplastic, we can shift, we can change. And so I think when I think of relationships, I think of primary caregivers, how that impacts our relationships with others, and then just our friends.
Yeah.
Our friends are so important.
So important. So important. And for those who are listening in, we want to be clear. This is Black and Brown Mountain Town.
That's right.
And what I want y'all to hear is a clinician and a community health worker in here talking about mental health, and we're not talking about illness at all.
No, right. Wow.
We're talking about relationships.
That's right.
We're talking about relationships with ourselves and with our friends.
That's right.
We're talking about, what did you say? Girl, you said joy is an act of resistance.
Yes.
You hear me? We're talking about joy. Here come another one. So we talked about relationships. Watch this. Boundaries.
Yo, okay. So the thing about boundaries, at least when they come to like the Latina community, I'll speak for my Mexican background. Boundaries did not feel like something that was accessible to me that I could do with my family. It was just like, what boundaries? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Is this a death sentence? Like, say no to my parents?
Yeah.
Hi, Mom and Dad, I love you. I'm like, where's my camera? I don't know. I'm like, hello.
Hey, Mama.
Hi, hey. And what I've learned with boundaries, it's like easier said than done. So for anyone out there who might be like, boundaries are hard, you are correct.
Yeah.
It takes practice.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easy to set them, but maintaining them is a whole different thing.
Yeah. Wow. It's easy to set them, but maintaining them is a whole different thing. And you know what's crazy? It goes right back to relationships.
Oh,
and
everything does.
it goes right back to relationships.
Yes.
So just to be clear for the listeners, as we talk about mental health, we want you to be meditating on the relationships that you have or lack thereof. Because if we're talking about mental health, we have to have relationships.
We have to.
And speaking of maintaining boundaries.
Yes.
Maintaining boundaries also require a relationship with myself, because if I start letting my guard down and I don't maintain my boundaries, people are going to treat me how I teach them to treat me.
That's right.
They're going to treat me how I teach them to treat me. And there are oftentimes I have to have somebody hold me accountable on my boundaries. And it ain't even just boundaries against other people. Let's talk mental health.
Let's talk
There's
about it.
also times when people need to put boundaries on their work-life, what they call it, work-life balance.
Balance.
Speaking of mental imbalances.
Speaking of imbalances.
For the workaholic out there, we are talking to you.
Yes.
You can change.
And listen, just take a minute. Drink some water.
Drink some
Make
water.
sure you're fed.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Listen to some Michael Jackson. Go for a walk. Stop working right now. I want you to close not in the middle of the Zoom meeting though. Like if you're in a Zoom meeting, don't just shut the computer.
I'm like, I don't know, maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
Paulina made me do it.
I'm like, I don't know, maybe. You can blame me. No, don't blame me.
Yeah, but boundaries.
Yeah.
Even in the work-life balance, like having to set boundaries. Not responding to emails outside of work time.
Right.
Another thing that I learned as a person who leads an organization, they said send your emails so that your staff don't feel
Yes.
like they have to
Yes.
respond to the email. And let's talk
Yes.
about this as a minority professionals in mountain towns where
Yeah.
we feel like we have to work extra hard.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We have to work extra hard. We have to go over and beyond.
Right.
We have to prove ourselves.
Right.
That stops today.
Okay.
That stops today.
Y'all hear that?
That stops
That
today.
stops today.
Yeah. Your mental health matters.
It does.
Your mental health matters. Boundaries.
It does. Boundaries.
Let's go to
Again,
another.
that
Oh, go
could
ahead.
be
I'm sorry.
No, that could be a whole nother episode too.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Yeah.
Because there are physical boundaries, there are emotional boundaries. So anyway, maybe we'll talk about it more later. Philip, I want to know, because we have survived Helene, right? As a region, we went
Right.
through that. And I love the messaging that we have around Mountain Strong, right? And also there is a shadow side to that. Can you talk a little bit more about this rugged, we must be strong, mountain strong?
Yeah. Man, I appreciate you mentioning that word strong, and I'm gonna try to keep my cool without getting too emotional.
Okay.
But when I lost my daughter, shout out to Jason Wilson, who led a grief therapy group that I'm in, and I remember him reaching out to me and he sending me a song, and it was about being strong is overrated, and there are moments when I have to be weak. And so we have to be careful with those types of messaging, because there are some people right now that were impacted by Hurricane Helene, and their mental health, the mental health component is just now showing up. When the excitement dies down, when the fun slow down, when the work slows down, and you have to sit with yourself. You don't have to be strong. I would hope that you can be humble enough to reach out to those who you have relationships with, to pour into you. But yeah, the word strong is overrated, fam. Yeah.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that too. Like, once everything kind of started to come back to quote unquote normal, right? People experienced a grief for things coming back online. People experienced grief for no longer being in community the way that they were. Because I think what we found during that time was the true sense of community, not just like-minded community, which is important, or like chosen family, which is also incredibly important, but community as in, I need you in order to help me get this tree out of the road.
Come on.
So I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who you love. I don't care. Like,
We in
you
this
have
together.
a chainsaw. I got an extra set of hands. Like, let's do this because we need one another to survive, right? And so, there was a lot of grief coming back online.
And it's still showing up to this day.
It is.
I mean, we know people who, I won't mention the exact name, but like I knew somebody that stayed in a mobile home park out there in Swananoa. The whole mobile home park got washed away.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
And so, like, this person is still working on, some type of sustainable housing plan, because now where they're living is like 1.5 times what they were paying to stay where they were staying, and they're a single parent. Right.
Wow.
So grief is nothing to play with. And the grief that came from Helene, and I'll say it as a leader, in the land of nonprofits here in this mountain town, there's a lot of nonprofits here, and there's a lot of competition. And when Helene hit, like I say, it was a lot of collaborations. Ain't nobody cared what role, what title you had. It was like, how can I help? How can I show up? You're like, I'm an executive director, but let me come and help sort this toilet tissue and paper towels over here.
Right.
Or shout out to Jess from Read to Succeed. That's my dog. I don't just look like Kim Roney a little bit. I always call her Kim Roney. It's so funny. But shout out to Kim Roney too, by the way.
Yeah.
But with Jess, you know what I'm saying? She is a executive director of an organization. Her and Michaela from Impact Health were coordinating hot meals. And it was beautiful, because all of us people who would typically be busy with the hustle and bustle of the C-suite executive workflow, we was in the community.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And when that stopped, there was a level of grief.
Yes.
From being with the people.
Right.
Wow, man, that grief right there. And then being an executive director is a hard job too. Let's, just talk about the mental health of leaders.
Oh my goodness.
That's a whole nother segment too. I knew we was gonna go off with this one. This is gonna have to just be multiple parts.
It has to be multiple parts, because I think because mental health is health, right?
That's right.
Mental health is always with us. We tend to notice it when it's not good, right? And also, let's take some time to notice it when we're like, oh, we're okay.
Yeah. It's okay to be okay.
It's okay to
You
be
said that
okay.
last episode. I love that when she said it. So she said, it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to be okay.
That's right.
Sit back. Get you a, let me see. Go get you, what are they drinking? Matcha? Go get you a matcha and kick back and watch tourists.
Yay, mountain town tourism industry.
Yeah. But grief, let's stay with grief for a second too, because I do appreciate when we first started this episode, you was mentioning how life circumstances can impact a person's mental health.
Of course. We don't live in a vacuum.
Yeah.
My God. We interact with people, we interact with systems. Of course we're going to be impacted by the things happening around us. Yeah.
And when a person does experience grief, being able to understand that this experience right here, this is a part of mental health. Grief is a part of your mental health.
It is.
Yeah, and for the listeners, I'm going to keep saying this, whether I sound like a broken record or not. These conversations, this dialogue that we're having about mental health, you're not hearing us talk about it as an illness.
Correct.
You know, mental health is more than a diagnosis. And so a person is experiencing grief. They're going to need some time to themselves. They're going to also need some time with somebody that have the lived experience that they have. They might need a person to sit with them and not have answers. They just need a person to sit with them.
Just sit. Yeah, and I think, okay. I want to shout out my friend Akua Adissa. Please go find them on Instagram. They are an amazing grief worker. Grief can also just be joyous too, which sounds counterintuitive. But anyway, like grief is a part of it. It's important for us to move through it and not necessarily carry it, right?
Yeah,
Like what are we carrying instead of moving through?
Wow.
We're not meant to be stagnant. None of our emotions are meant to be stagnant, including like joy, right? We need it to flow.
Yeah.
So anyway, just shout out to Akua. Go follow them.
Grief. And it's one of the things that Jay had taught me. He said that there are stages of grief, but it's not linear.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
And with grief for me, you know, I'm, you know, in a group, you know, the medication is helping me as well.
Totally.
My working out,
Yeah.
relationships,
Yeah.
you know, being around people who I know genuinely love me.
Yeah.
And being in a group, because like it gets to the point, and this is for the person that's out there who may be wrestling with grief right now. This message is for you. Your grief matters. It is okay if you're still, you know, wanting to talk about the loss of your loved one. I don't care how many years it is. You're not a burden.
Correct.
Get with people who can handle you. And that's what I had to do, because it got to the point with me, I was like, I'm not wanting to talk about it with certain people because I wouldn't want to make them sad. I wouldn't want to be a burden on somebody else. And so I had to find my tribe. And it goes right back to the relationships with people who understood what it's like. Like, you know, my daughter been going on 3 years, getting close to 3 years now. But there are times where it can still paralyze me. I can see one picture, you know what I'm saying, and just be like, and it just floors me.
Yeah.
You know, and I need to have people who I can talk to about it, who I trust is a safe space. It's so big about the relationships. Mental health includes relationships.
You hit on it. You hit on relationships. You hit on belonging. You hit on the grief aspect. You hit on the therapy aspect. You hit on the medication aspect.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing too. Like there's a lot of misconception when it comes around medication and what that looks like, right? Or if it's good, if it's not good, et cetera.
Yeah. And I remember one time I heard a pastor do this, and that's why I love being a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm an evangelist. I'm in these streets. I be in these streets, right, in the jails and the treatment centers, stuff like that. Shout out to Wifey. She's evangelist too. She going in the jails doing her thing, loving on the women at the Transformation Village, Mary Benson House. You know, just loving on the women being the church without walls. But there was a time where I was in a church, and
Church
I heard
without walls.
You like that?
I
Hey.
like it. Yeah.
But I was in a church one time, a church with walls, and I heard a pastor say, the only pill you need is the gospel.
Ooh.
I was thinking to myself, like, bruh, you just make me feel like less of a Christian, less of a human, less of a leader, less of a kingdom person, because you said this from the pulpit. But medication complements. I was just in D.C. for the Faith and Behavioral Health Convening. Shout out to Dr. Monty Burks for having me there in D.C., that big old city, country boy in the big city. That's a whole nother level of anxiety, by the way. But while I was there, they was talking about how, like, faith and science can coexist.
Yeah.
They complement each other. They don't compete.
No, we get to have access to all of the tools.
Yeah.
It is a tool that we get to use. But you also mentioned exercise helps. Are you eating okay? Are you hydrated? Are you sleeping? Those are also components of mental health, and that help support mental well-being, right? Yeah.
Are you taking care of yourself?
Yes.
Do you have a relationship with yourself enough to know if you're taking care of yourself?
Speak on it.
And if you don't have a relationship with yourself enough to know if you're taking care of yourself, do you have somebody in your circle? Relationships.
Again, I'm like, is this the relationship episode?
But look, my thing is, sister, one thing I bet you they will know when they leave from here, they will be ready to talk about mental health as it relates to relationships.
I hope so. so. And let us know how this is landing.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the reviews, etc.
And
want to hear from you.
And the other piece is this, like, we want to hear your feedback too, especially from those of you who may have a therapist or who can chime in, like as we do our social media posts and everything. Go in the comment section, say something. But like, even with having a therapist, and that's how this podcast even started, because how we coordinated and worked together to support the people, the returning citizens and the people from historically marginalized communities getting connected for services. And then the community health workers and the peer support specialists supporting them in between their therapy sessions. It is all about relationships. It is all about it. And so I'm going to get back to a couple more of these when we're thinking about what mental health includes. I do want to touch on this one, and I think this is going to be a good one for us to kind of like stay with a little bit for the rest of this episode. And we might have to do a part 2 because I already know this one is going to get it's going to get the rest of the time. I already know.
Okay.
Culture.
Right. Yo. Okay.
Oh Lord, he took it there.
You took it there. Talk to me about it. What comes up for you?
Stigma. Stigma.
Yeah.
What happens in this house stays in this house. Put him up. Like, I mean, I got people in my family, Cleveland County, mental I almost said it. See,
Listen,
Lord bless it.
We're learning, we're relearning, we're unlearning, we're remembering.
Thank you.
Most of the time.
You're such a therapist. What I will say is I have family who wrestle with mental health challenges.
Yes.
And without the proper community, without the proper treatment, they will end up being isolated in a mobile home somewhere. They will be away from people for the most part. And so us being able to normalize talking about mental health and everything that it encompasses, that's the only way that we're going to impact stigma. But culture-wise, I would say, like, especially within the Black culture, it's highly stigmatized because a lot of what's said from the church. I mean, let's just be real. Like, I'm going to tell you got a demon that need to be casted out because you have some mental health challenges.
Right.
I can't just agree with that.
Right. No. And this is what's tricky too, because if we look at it from like a Native lens, and again, this is coming from what I've learned. I know that there are different practices all across the world when it comes to Indigenous healing practices. And what I've heard, right, is like when someone is experiencing, let's say, something that's more akin to like psychosis, or like maybe I'm hearing things that aren't, not even sometimes mania, but like maybe I'm seeing things that aren't there. Maybe I'm hearing things that aren't there. From a Native perspective, again, from the lineage and practice that I learned, it's like maybe they're speaking to the ancestors and how can we support this person to be able to stay here right now and not go too far that way.
Wow.
So some of the practices can look like, can you see the texture of the air? Like really rooting in and being real about it. So it's like, it's just, I bring that up to kind of, to show the difference between, there are some faith perspectives and there are also different Indigenous perspectives as well of what it can look like. Like, no, you're not possessed. No, there's not a demon.
Yeah. Meet them where they at.
Meet them where they're at. Like, give them the tools to be here and to be here now.
Yeah. And that being here now is so important, because whenever people don't find that sense of belonging, whenever they feel alone and they lose hope, that's when we start hearing about suicide. And so being able to meet people where they're at, that was so powerful how you said that, like being able to say, okay, this is where you're at. And try to keep you from going too far and meeting you where you at. You know, that is so important. That's trauma informed. That's people centered. You know, and this is some of the language that we use, like in the clinical as well as in some of the community health work. We talk about, you know, person-centered thinking and establishing shared goals and things like that. But a lot of this work was being done in the community before, and with Indigenous people, a lot of this work was being done before there was a licensure.
Another episode. My
That's
God.
a whole other episode, ain't it? Yeah.
And I love how we giggle. We're like, licenses, LOL. Yeah. Yeah. And I want to go back to what you touched on, because it was really important of like, this stays in this house.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for it, right? Like we can look at Dr. Joy DeGroo's work on post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Wow.
Right? And how it's just like, no, we needed to keep this in the house so that we could be safe and so that people weren't looking in to give anyone an excuse to cause harm or more harm, right? So we have historical trauma. There is that piece. And so there is a reason for it. And can we move beyond it, right?
Yeah.
Or like, what does it look like to move beyond it?
Yeah. And being able to get that feedback from diverse perspectives, and having people feel safe enough to even give that feedback. And I think we're going to continuously shout out Western North Carolina Health Network because we've done some great work with them, being able to get voices, hearing directly from the people, and them seeing us as safe zones for them to talk about mental health and what they're seeing in the rural areas of Western North Carolina. That was something that we was able to do with that work, and being able to get people's perspectives is what helps us combat stigma, because now they're letting us know why they're not getting help, why they're not talking about certain things, and then we're able to go and educate our colleagues or educate those systems, right? Because we need systems of liberation. We must have systems of liberation as it relates to mental health, because a lot of what we see with crime, with what we see with even in foster, with those who are in foster care, I forget the exact percentage. Somebody fact check it and look it up, but there was like a percentage that was out there on one of the panels when I was in DC, and they were talking about the percentage of parents who have mental health challenges that's why their kids end up in the foster care system, because of mental health challenges and untreated mental health challenges.
Yes.
Yep. And we got to do something about that. We have to create spaces where people can talk about how they're feeling. How is your mental? Even if we got to avoid the word mental health, Right.
What would y'all rather call it? You know what I mean? Like, it's really, if like hearing mental health like automatically activates something in you that's just like bad, then okay, call it something else.
Call it something else. That's their homework.
That's your homework. Oh my God. Did we give y'all homework?
Yeah, and did. They getting some homework. Last week, we asked you what was something that you could do that doesn't cost a thing, and hopefully you did it.
Hopefully.
And for me, I did mine. I totally did mine. I went to the gym. Well, I guess that technically cost me a monthly fee, but I did go to the gym. That's one of the things I do for my mental health. Like, I'm not lifting weights because I want to be as swole and like my boy Tony Walker. Tony Walker swole. Anybody know Tony Walker? He's swole. He is like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is swole. My brother is swole. And I do want to be swole like that if I can stop eating, but that's a whole nother story. But like, that's one of the things that I did, and we gave y'all some homework. One of them was to do something for your mental health that wasn't going to cost you a thing, and the other one was, what was the other one?
Well, no, and we gave invitations. Right?
Yeah, sorry, not homework, invitations.
Listen, homework.
Such a therapist.
We gotta meet the people where they are.
Meet them where they at. That's right.
Does anyone like homework? I don't know.
I don't really like homework.
Right, but invitations maybe.
We gave an invitation to do something that didn't cost a thing.
Totally. We had a community invitation and we had a clinical invitation, right? Yep. So there was like a connect with your breath, and there was a reach out to someone you've been meaning to reach out to that you need
That's
to reach
what
out
it was.
to. Yeah.
Reach out to someone that you needed to reach out to, that you should reach out to and you haven't, and to connect with your breath.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the homework last week.
That was the invitation.
The invitation. The invitation. The invitation.
Listen, we're just doing our best.
Well, this week's invitation
is
going to be, what is something else that we can call it? Since mental health is so stigmatized. Since it's so stigmatized, and as Rome had even mentioned, when I asked him what comes to mind when you hear mental health, he said confusion.
Yeah.
So maybe mental health is landing as a stigmatizing word that's confusing. And we have a responsibility in these mountain towns as Black and brown leaders to figure out how we going to make it safe enough for people to open up to us about what's going on in the mental.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the invitation.
That's the invitation.
If you can think of something else to call it, let us know.
Let us know.
Or maybe you just reframe it for yourself.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm also hoping that what people can take away, or a part of what people can take away from this conversation, is that when you talk about mental health, the world continues to spin.
That's right.
Like, we're okay.
Yeah. We really are. And it's going to be okay.
And it's going to be okay.
And if you're not feeling okay, guess what? That's okay. And if you are feeling okay, I loved when you said that so much, because it's okay to be okay. Like if you are having a good day and you are winning today, win. Please win.
Please win.
Win with no remorse.
That's right.
Win, baby, win.
That's right.
And that's one of the things we mean when we talk about self-care, but we ain't going to go there either because we ain't got enough time.
Lord.
We will be having a whole session about self-care.
We have to.
We're going to have a whole session about self-care, but we're not going to play with that one. We kind of, I feel like we're what we got with culture was a good spot.
Yeah.
I believe to kind of like prepare for the transition out.
Okay.
Because culture is what created this podcast.
That's right. That's right. And I will also say I love the name of our podcast, Black and Brown Mountain Town. And we've talked about this too, right? And how like Black and Brown communities, like let's come together.
Yeah.
Because my liberation is tied up with yours and vice versa.
That's a fact.
Right? So like let's get free.
Let's get free. And let's get free in these mountain towns because these mountain towns need us.
That's right.
And the Black and brown people of these mountain towns need us. And they need us to be in good health. And they need us to have good mental health because leaders, we carry a lot. We carry a lot. And we have to make sure we're taking care of each other.
That's right.
And we're having these conversations. We're having these what are they called? Listening circles. These spaces where we can talk about how we feel with people who understand, people who ain't gonna judge us. Because we also got to survive living in these mountain towns.
That's right. That's right. And these mountain towns are beautiful.
Yeah.
The land is beautiful.
Yeah.
So connect with the land too.
Connect with the land of the sky.
Yeah.
The land of the sky. I'm trying to tell you, I love it. I love it. These Appalachian mountains.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they had the country boy in D.C. You should have seen me up there.
Oh, my God.
I was in D.C.,
I
girl.
bet it was so much fun.
No, it wasn't.
No? Okay.
Speaking of anxiety, man, all them buildings and all them people, everybody walking fast around me and having to walk everywhere. I mean, I don't mind getting my exercise in, but I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot. Like, being in a big city is a lot for me. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to get back home, and I'm back. And I was ready to get to this podcast too, fam. I'm so grateful that you're taking time for this.
It is so much fun. Yeah. And I'm fixing my headphones.
No, fix it. Fix it.
It's fixed.
Fix it. Fix it, Jesus.
That's right. Please. Please.
Well, y'all, what we hope that we were able to accomplish today for the listeners is we hope that you are able to hear us have a dialogue about mental health, coming from a licensed clinician, coming from a certified community health worker who are out here in these streets providing access for people to get the healing that they need, whether it's by way of treatment or whether it's by way of a support group that is not facilitated by a person with some license. Both are needed, and that's okay. But we hope that you heard us talk about mental health without talking about being sick. Without talking about being ill.
That's right. And incorporating joy, incorporating rest, incorporating well-being.
Yes.
It is all a part of it.
Yes.
Yes.
And don't you forget what my sister said, mi hermana. She said, joy is an act of resistance.
That's right.
Well, we thank you for joining us. This was a good conversation. We hope you can continue to have this conversation with your peers, with your colleagues, with your kids.
Yes.
Because mental health is health.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us at Black and Brown
Mountain Town.
Whoa, who you know that get it jumping like this? Look, anything I touch, just go, they call me Mightis. Pull up to the function and I get it right. Just follow the boy.
Hi, friends. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Stay in touch. Follow, rate, review, subscribe, all the things. And also just like, let us know how this landed. Be a part of the conversation. You are welcome at our kitchen table. So stay tuned.